What is this happening? These are celebrities.
Yeah.
These are people who have access to best in the
Yes.
world. Why fillers are to be blamed over here?
Whether it's the injector who's going wrong or they are dominating the treatment plans.
What is the role of fillers with such weight loss patients?
अगर हम इनको वॉल्यूमिनाइज करते हैं फिलर्स से तो एक सपोर्टेड लिफ्टेड लुक आ सकता है.
So, आपको लगता है कि ये एक लग्जरी रह गई है आज की डेट में, लुकिंग गुड, लुकिंग प्रॉपर एंड ट्रिम?
बस वैनिटी या लग्जरी नहीं है बल्कि एक स्ट्रेटेजिक इन्वेस्टमेंट है ऑन योरसेल्फ.
What do you think is an average journey for a patient who is walking for the first time?
It has to be an earnest attempt at consultation rather than just browsing through internet.
I am planning a filler treatment. Then what is the starting budget I can plan for myself? तो वहाँ पे patient का क्या role हो सकता है जहाँ पे वो डिसाइड करे कि मुझे इस ब्रांड के लिए जाना है? What is the right set of patients who can go for these treatments?
एक सिरिंज आती है, इसमें एक जेल जैसा सब्सटेंस होता है which makes our skin look younger.
What if I tell you that internet is both lying to you and telling you the truth at the same time about aesthetic treatments? One moment we are seeing the pictures of these transformational glow ups, the most beautiful of them all, but at the same time, the next very minute, we see our internet going viral with some disastrous aesthetic treatment. Welcome to Aesthetify India podcast. I'm Gunjan, your host for today and co-founder Aesthetify India. In today's talk, what we are going to do, we are going to go beyond fears and myths and filters. And what we will be focusing would be the real stories, real science, and most importantly, the real transformations. What we are going to touch base today is a very, very common topic, but it stays in the minds of many of us, but still in whispers, the desire to look good, the desire to go for these aesthetic treatments, and if I go to a very specific topic, dermal fillers. Are they worth it? Do they look fake? And to unfold all these and to segregate real science from the myths that we have today, we have somebody who's at the evolving front, Dr. Shilpi Badani, a very respected plastic and aesthetic surgeon from Gurugram, founder and director of SB Aesthetic. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. It is so great to have you over.
Thank you, Gunjan. I am equally delighted to be here on this podcast with you. And the real conversations in aesthetics are really those we don't hear often. And I'm glad to be sharing those today.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out your time today. Okay, ma'am, let's start. एक बहुत ही ना broad topic से start करते हैं. Let's not go into the aesthetic treatments right away because we want to really go to the roots of it.
Right.
यहाँ पे हम Zoom calls की बात कर रहे हैं, Instagram की बात कर रहे हैं. Day in day out, we are being visually judged.
Yes.
So, आपको लगता है कि ये एक लग्जरी रह गई है आज की डेट में, लुकिंग गुड, लुकिंग प्रॉपर एंड ट्रिम?
वेल गुंजन, जहाँ तक लुक्स की बात है तो आई वुड से कि हम अब के टाइम में ना बहुत एक विजुअली परसीव्ड वर्ल्ड में जी रहे हैं ना. इट्स एवरीथिंग इज़ वेरी विजुअल. वी आर लुकिंग एट वीडियोज़ एवरी टाइम, वी आर लुकिंग एट आवरसेल्व्स. Zoom and Instagram you already talked about. So obviously looking good is no more just linked to vanity. In fact, there's a report by McKinsey in 2023 about global beauty trends. And in that report, they've said that 60% of millennials and Gen Zs, they connect or relate their look to their confidence and how they feel within themselves and also how they show up at work or socially. तो ऑब्वियसली जब हम इसकी बात करें तो ये सिर्फ वैनिटी नहीं है क्योंकि बहुत क्लोजली लिंक्ड है ये मेंटल हेल्थ से, आपके परफॉर्मेंस से, आप कैसे परसीव हो रहे हैं प्रोफेशनली. सो प्रोफेशनल परसेप्शन इज़ ऑल्सो वेरी मच लिंक्ड टू हाउ यू आर प्रेजेंटिंग योर सेल्फ और टू अ लार्ज एक्सटेंट हाउ यू लुक. In fact, there's also a survey by American Psychological Association in 2022 where they found out that there is 27% more chance of you being more confident in your roles that you take, socially or at work, when you look good, and also 40% more likely to land up leadership roles. तो एक तरह से मैं ये बोलूँ कि जब आपके चांसेस इतने बढ़ जाते हैं, और ये रिपोर्ट कह रही है ना, ये कोई मिथ नहीं है, एंड इट्स अ वेरी पब्लिकली अवेलेबल स्टडी। तो अब जब हम इसकी बात करते हैं, तो हम जब ब्यूटी ट्रीटमेंट्स या कुछ भी अपने लिए सेल्फ वर्थ के लिए करने की बात करते हैं, तो मैं कहूँगी कि ये बस वैनिटी या लग्जरी नहीं है, बल्कि एक स्ट्रेटेजिक इन्वेस्टमेंट है on yourself. And of course, you know, when you see the results and when you see it affecting your life positively, it's not a luxury anymore.
Absolutely. I think confidence is the key word over
Definitely.
here.
Yeah.
What we are looking here, that you must feel confidence in your own skin.
Yeah.
And we will delve into more as we proceed.
Sure.
So you see so many patients in a day. I have seen your setup, and it's always crowded. So what kind of patients are walking in? Are these corporates? Are these homemakers? कोई ऐसे क्वेश्चन भी लेके आते हैं, आई डोंट वांट टू लुक गुड, दे डोंट नो दैट व्हाट रियली दे आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू, दे कम एंड दे टेल यू, मैम मुझे ना एवरी डे आई गेट दिस फीडबैक फ्रॉम माई फ्रेंड्स दैट आई लुक टायर्ड, I want to look more rejuvenated, I want to look more confident. So what kind of questions these people are asking when they're walking to you?
So first, let's take up the first part of your question, where you say that what kind of people are walking into my
Yes.
clinic. So you will be surprised that you know, the perception still about aesthetics, मतलब जो लोग सोचते हैं versus जो reality है, वो बहुत different है. जो लोग सोचते हैं, जैसे वो इंस्टाग्राम पे वीडियोस तो बहुत देखते हैं या यूट्यूब पे सर्च वॉल्यूम बहुत ज़्यादा है, लेकिन वो ये सोचते हैं कि ये सिर्फ रिच लोग कराते हैं. ये एक परसेप्शन बनी हुई है कि ये ट्रीटमेंट्स बहुत एक्सपेंसिव हैं, है ना. और वर्सेस जो रियलिटी है, people from all walks of life come to me and all kinds of ages come to me. तो अगर हम एज की बात करें, तो there would also be a very young woman who's just stepped into adulthood wanting to feel confident, may just come in for a lip filler or a slight chin filler. But at the same time, there are people who are in advanced ages, and I'm talking of as advanced as mid 70s, even late 70s.
Okay.
So when they start getting these feedbacks that, you know, from their known people or, you know, from acquaintances that, you know, you're not looking as fresh anymore, so then they would want to look a little fresher and more confident in their skin, you can say. तो इसमें कोई age barrier नहीं है, कोई क्लास बैरियर नहीं है, एंड बहुत कस्टमाइजेशन अवेलेबल है. सबसे अच्छी बात हमारे साथ यही है कि हम बहुत ही ईजिली कस्टमाइज ट्रीटमेंट्स कर सकते हैं. तो पीपल फ्रॉम ऑल वॉक्स ऑफ लाइफ, फ्रॉम ऑल स्ट्रेटा ऑफ सोसाइटी, जो थोड़ी कम अफोर्डिंग है, इफ़ आई कैन यूज़ द वर्ड, फॉर देम इट इज़ एस्पिरेशनल, बट दे नो द, इफ दे नो द वैल्यू, they are wanting to invest. And there comes our responsibility as injectors or as physicians, as clinicians, that we give them the best in our hands. So wo ethics kabhi bhi, we should not leave it out. Now the second part of your question is that do they come with the request that you know, not for beauty but for looking fresh. So I get this request all the time.
Okay.
All the time. So and because मैं प्लास्टिक सर्जन हूँ, तो मेरे पास जो बास्केट ऑफ ऑप्शंस हैं वो बहुत ज़्यादा हैं. तो हम इंडिविजुअली हर केस को असेस करते हैं. अगर हमें लगता है कि सर्जिकल इंटरवेंशन से, एक ट्रीटमेंट से उनको बहुत ज़्यादा बेनिफिट मिलेगा, तो वी एडवाइज देम अकॉर्डिंगली. लेकिन अगर कोई प्रिपेयर्ड नहीं है मेंटली सर्जरी के लिए, तो हमारे पास नॉन इन्वेजिव में इतने ऑप्शंस होते हैं, सो वी कैन टेक इट स्लो ऑल्सो. तो येस, more from the point of view of looking fresh, looking better, rather than chasing some particular beauty standard or particular look. So it's all about looking fresh and looking better in your own skin and looking like yourself.
Absolutely. अभी भी ये एक apprehension क्यों है? Is it to do with our society, Indian society, that we do not openly admit we all want to look good? Do you think that this is the psychology of Indian patients, or it's a global phenomena? We are not openly talking about it.
Well, it's a very pertinent point, and I would say कि looks अगर हम देखें तो somewhere it's connected or in our heads, all the time when people are thinking about beauty, they think of it as superficial, right? That it does not have depth. तो जब हम कोई सुपरफिशियल ब्यूटी को चेज करते हैं तो ऑटोमेटिकली ये हम इससे अलाइन कर लेते हैं इस थॉट प्रोसेस से कि अगर हम ब्यूटी चेज कर रहे हैं तो कहीं हम डेप्थ में लैक कर रहे हैं, जो कि बिल्कुल भी सही नहीं है, एटलीस्ट इन टुडेज वर्ल्ड. साइंस हैज प्रोग्रेस्ड सो मच, एंड एवरी डे इट्स प्रोग्रेसिंग. तो अगर आप वैसे नेचर में देखेंगे ना, तो एवरी टाइम वी आर अप्रिशिएटिंग ब्यूटिफुल थिंग्स. If you see a clear sky, if you see beautiful clouds, if you see cherry blossoms, so everything, beauty appreciation is in our inherent nature. But when it comes to us as humans, we try to have a little, I would say, slightly hypocritical view, which should not be the case, because now science has proven it. And as I already quoted the 2 studies earlier on, कि जब हम अपने आप में कॉन्फिडेंट रहते हैं, जब हम प्रॉपरली प्रेजेंटेड रहते हैं, तो इट्स नॉट फॉर एनीबडी एल्स बट इट्स फॉर आवर ओन कॉन्फिडेंस. एंड वी हैव टू स्टार्ट डीलिंकिंग ब्यूटी टू वैनिटी. तो ऑफकोर्स कहीं ना कहीं वैनिटी भी होता है, ये हम डिनाई नहीं कर सकते, बट वो वैनिटी पूरी तरह से सुपरफिशियल नहीं है. इट हैज़ अ डीपर मीनिंग, एंड दैट डीपर मीनिंग इज योर ओन कॉन्फिडेंस. सो ये जब कॉन्फिडेंस से लिंक हो जाता है ना, देन इट गेट्स अ होल न्यू मीनिंग. व्हेन यू लिंक योर गुड लुक्स और प्रेजेंटेबल लुक्स और बेटर लुक्स, वट एवर यू कॉल इट, टू कॉन्फिडेंस, then the game changes.
I know we have touched on a very controversial point over here because looking good is a taboo still in our society.
But very desirable at the
But
same
very
time.
desirable, absolutely. So you've, I think, rightly put it that it has a more deeper meaning, and it has to be radiant
Yeah.
on your personality.
Yeah. So if we just I'll just maybe if I can take the liberty to just simplify it. So let's say that, if you ask a particular person that would looking better, looking presentable, would you want to do it? They may say yes or no, depending on the kind of investment they make. But if you see the reality of it, that if it affects what they are doing, so if it is linked to that, then they are more likely to opt for that choice. But as already it's been proven scientifically that yes, whatever you do, there's slightly better chances of you succeeding. Not always, but yeah, there's percentage to it. So then people take a call whether to invest in it or not to invest in it.
Absolutely. Now let's debunk this aesthetic journey for a patient. Now we have patients who are asking the basic questions, but they don't know where to start. There are so many options available: lasers, toxins, fillers, biostimulators. So how they can start? What should be the really starting point? I understand it has to be customized, but what do you think is an average journey for a patient who's walking for the first time?
See, it's totally dependent on what is your current problem. So I would say that the first step to unraveling this journey for oneself, it has to be an earnest attempt at consultation. That's very important, rather than just browsing through internet and Instagram and YouTube. One should invest in a professional consultation where the clinician can actually assess what he or she thinks about their particular expectations that they have from the treatment and what are the options. तो मुझे लगता है कि पहले तो फर्स्ट स्टेप तो कंसल्टेशन है. और बहुत बार एटलीस्ट इंडियन पेशेंट्स में मैंने ये नोटिस किया है कि वो कंसल्टेशन को इतनी इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं देते.
Okay.
तो उनको ये लगता है कि उन्होंने जो रिसर्च कर लिया, रिसर्च डेफिनेटली हेल्प करता है. इट हेल्प्स बिकॉज वी एज क्लिनिशियंस वी गेट टू नो व्हाट दे आर एक्सपेक्टिंग एंड वेदर इट इज़ रियलिस्टिक और अनरियलिस्टिक. बट जब हम कंसल्टेशन लेते हैं तो हम देखते हैं कि भाई क्या एक्चुअली जो ये परसीव कर रहे हैं उतनी वैल्यू उनको मिलेगी उससे, या फिर कुछ और ज़रूरी है ना. तो बट द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट कैन बी For a young patient with not such a great looking skin, can be skincare. So we can start off with as simple as a chemical peel. Or when we are delving deeper into more advanced treatments, then we can analyze proportions and we can select, if we are selecting dermal fillers, then where to do dermal fillers, whether it's the chin or the cheeks or the lips or the nose. What is that one aspect that we can touch? So they can definitely start slow. For somebody who is in their 30s, and a lot of people are now coming to me for preventative Botox or toxin. So we are starting off earlier now because the youngsters are more aware and they don't want to age. So then we slow up the cycle at least. So in their 30s, early 40s, it could be preventative, but in their 40s, a lot of people will need treatments for the damage that's already done. So definitely toxins and fillers are the mainstays of treatment, I would say, late 30s and 40s.
Okay.
When we go to 50s, तो 50s में क्या है कि बहुत बार हम स्किन के चेंजेस काफ़ी ज़्यादा देखते हैं,
Menopause.
या सो हार्मोनल चेंजेस बहुत होते हैं और मेनोपॉज की वजह से भी बहुत सारे चेंजेस आने लगते हैं. तो वो ऐसा टाइम है जहाँ पे हमें एक चेक लेना है कि भाई हमें सर्जिकल ट्रीटमेंट्स में जाना है कि नॉन सर्जिकल से काम चलेगा, एंड व्हाट इज़ देयर माइंडसेट कि उनको कैसे ये जर्नी देखनी है. तो जो 50s का टाइम है उसमें आई वुड से कि 50-50%. Some people will opt for surgery, some people will opt for toxins and fillers and other skin treatments to get rejuvenated. In the 60s, I would say it would lean towards surgical treatments more. अगर हम value for money and value for time देख रहे हैं तो. But yes, if you start off in your late 30s, early 40s, then definitely you can maintain yourself younger for a longer time, and the need for surgical intervention can be pushed. So if I can break it up into age wise, this is how it looks. And definitely one need not start all out that you have to do very aggressive treatments. You can take it slow.
Right. And I think in your practice you have patients who've been coming to you for ages now.
Yes.
They've been associated with you for years.
Yes.
So that's a very proven point that it's not one treatment, it's a journey that we are looking at.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you is, now a lot of men are also entering this space of aesthetics.
Right.
So आपको क्या लगता है कि जब एक मेल वॉक इन करता है और एक फीमेल वॉक इन करती है तो क्या डिफरेंस लगता है दोनों के क्वेश्चंस में, दोनों की नीड्स में आपको?
सो क्वेश्चंस में यूजुअली जो मैंने देखा है कि विमेन जब आती हैं तो उनकी रिसर्च काफ़ी डीप होती है, मतलब बहुत सारा वो इंफॉर्मेशन लेके आती हैं. But for men, they come in for a consult. Lot of them are, they just are there for an honest opinion. तो ये एक बेसिक डिफरेंस जो मैंने अपनी प्रैक्टिस में देखा है. एंड दे मोस्टली दे गो बाय व्हाट यू एडवाइस. दे वांट टू टेक इट स्लो, बट या आई मीन जो रिसर्च है वो बहुत ज़्यादा women बहुत ज़्यादा करती हैं, बट men में वो परसेंटेज कम है. नॉट दैट इट्स नॉट देयर, बट या परसेंटेज कम है बिकॉज परहैप्स आई डोंट नो, मे बी दे आर लेस ऑन द इंटरनेट और वट एवर. बट या ये एक तो बेसिक डिफरेंस है.
ओके, दैट्स इंटरेस्टिंग.
और एक और जो बहुत मेजर डिफरेंस है इज डिसीजन मेकिंग.
ओके.
सो men are very quick decision makers. So once they've decided and they are confident about the treatment that you suggested, they will not take much time to decide and start getting it done. And in my practice, over the years, the male patient base that we've built is in non-invasive. I'm talking about invasive भी है, but non-invasive की अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, तो almost about 35 to 40% of my clientele is male, and we are talking everything. We're talking about laser facials, we're talking about toxins, we're talking about fillers, we're talking about skin boosters, lasers, everything. So they're getting everything done.
That's a huge percentage, and I think it is far ahead from the Indian statistics.
No, I mean, I think it's slowly catching up, and we are going to see more and more men coming for treatments.
Great. So, so far you have talked a lot about fillers, that this really contribute a lot to the non-invasive treatments that you're using at your clinic.
Right.
So let's define these fillers. What are exactly these products, or what are these treatments? What are the right set of patients who can go for these treatments?
Well, fillers, these are hyaluronic acid gels.
Okay.
So एक सिरिंज आती है, इसमें एक जेल जैसा सब्सटेंस होता है, और ये बेसिकली hyaluronic acid ये हमारी बॉडी में भी होता है नेचुरली,
Okay.
विच मेक्स आवर स्किन लुक यंगर. तो जैसे जैसे हम एज करते हैं, तो हम सब कोलेजन तो जानते ही हैं, बट हाइलुरोनिक एसिड भी एक सब्सटेंस है जो विथ एजिंग चेंजेस वो कम होता जाता है. तो ये जो प्री फिल्ड सिरिंजेस आते हैं, इनमें यही जेल होता है जो सिंथेटिकली प्रोड्यूस्ड होता है, और इसको हम इंजेक्ट कर सकते हैं टू रीगेन दैट यूथफुलनेस दैट वी आर डिज़ायरिंग.
Okay.
तो ये इंजेक्टेबल ट्रीटमेंट है. यूजुअली हम नंबिंग क्रीम लगाने के बाद में अराउंड हाफ एन आवर के बाद नंबिंग क्रीम का इफेक्ट आ जाता है, और हम इंजेक्शन के थ्रू हम इंजेक्ट कर सकते हैं. अब क्या क्या एरियाज ट्रीट कर सकते हैं? सो वी कैन ट्रीट सैगिंग चीक्स, हम जॉ लाइन स्कल्प्ट कर सकते हैं, चिन पे डाल सकते हैं,
Okay.
नोज़ कर सकते हैं, जो नेज़ोलेबियल फोल्ड्स हैं, जो लाफ लाइंस है, उसको ट्रीट कर सकते हैं, हैंड्स रिजुवनेट कर सकते हैं,
Okay.
यहाँ जो टेम्पल्स हॉलो हो जाते हैं हम उसको ट्रीट कर सकते हैं. तो बहुत सारे ट्रीटमेंट्स हैं जो फिलर्स के थ्रू हम कर सकते हैं. लेकिन ये ज़रूरी है कि जो लेवल ऑफ एक्सपर्टीज़ है इंजेक्टर की, उस पर बहुत डिपेंड करता है कि आपका रिज़ल्ट कैसा दिखेगा.
Okay.
और कुछ एरियाज़ डेंजरस हैं, जैसे कि ये ग्लैबेला का एरिया हो गया, नोज़ का रूट हो गया. तो ग्लैबेला में तो मैं बिल्कुल स्ट्रिक्टली अगेंस्ट हूँ इंजेक्शंस के. But nose fillers we do, and it requires quite an expert level of experience
Okay.
to deliver good results and safe results. सबसे ज़्यादा important है safety. क्योंकि जब हम इंटरनेट पे disasters की बात करते हैं, like you initially in your introduction you said about disasters, तो ये disasters जो हैं ये बहुत बार इनएक्सपीरियंस्ड हैंड्स में होते हैं, या फिर प्रॉपर इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं होने की वजह से होते हैं. तो दे आर डेंजर साइंस विच वी एज इंजेक्टर्स एट माई सेंटर, all the doctors who are injecting, they inform the patients priorly that what is the risk that we are taking, and if at all there's danger sign, how to deal with it, how to reach us if they feel that there's a problem. तो ये सारा कुछ बहुत ट्रांसपेरेंट होना चाहिए. That is how we make it safe, and we make the result longer lasting and even better.
Okay. Quantity of fillers matter a lot
Yeah,
over here,
definitely.
and we know that experts can guide us better.
Yeah.
But if I'm walking to you as a patient, how can I plan my treatment with the quantity, with the right indication? So, how do you guide these patients? I understand consultation will be an important step over here, but if I want to do my homework on the quantity that will be used on my face, how can I do that?
Okay, so when you talk about volume, I would just go back a few minutes, and when you spoke about a lot of patients being in my practice for a long time, and I'm talking about decades. So there are a lot of patients whom I've treated since about 10 years now, who still come in to get their injectables done. And the key here is definitely one of the key factors, I would say, is volume.
Okay.
When we inject more and more, it's not really necessary. In fact, it's actually true that we will end up with a result we don't want.
Okay.
And for a lot of my patients whom I have educated over time, they know the value of my opinion when I say no.
Okay.
So, as an injector, as a clinician, as an expert, I think it's my prerogative to tell them that this is too much, and no, we will not achieve with volume what you're thinking. So, obviously, when you want to do your homework with the amount of volume needed, I would say that you have to first outline your major concern. So, I'll give you an example. There was a patient who came to me for fillers for nasolabial area. Now, nasolabial area, if we talk about 7 to 8 years back, it was a very clear indication that you have to fill the nasolabial folds and achieve that lift or whatever. But as time has gone by and research has matured, we as injectors have matured, we know that filling in nasolabial folds will not give us the result that we want. But at the same time, there are certain instances like if I tell you about my patient. So she came in with the concern of nasolabial fold. She had a very retruded chin.
Okay.
And when I assessed, I said that, look, I think that, adding a little chin volume will make a huge impact on your face. Filling the nasolabial fold is okay, I will do that subtly. But then she was very insistent that, doctor, I want these nasolabial folds filled. So I went ahead, and because she had limited budget, so I thought that, okay, let me go ahead and address her indication first. And I saw that it could have improved. So that was one of the bases with which I decided. So once I filled in the nasolabial folds subtly, she came back after 3 weeks to get the chin filler done.
Okay.
So, sometimes it's important that not a lot of times, we get carried away as clinicians because we think that, okay, what we are thinking is right, and, the chin has to be filled first. Maybe the patient is not seeing that. So we have to respect those desires as well and handhold them through the journey. And, when we talk about volume, I would say when we talk about chin, we can even do over time, we can do 2 ml, 3 ml in a very retruded chin, but that cannot be done in one go because that can land up into complications. When we talk about lip, I am very skeptical in going more than 1.5 ml in one go. More often than not, it is 1 ml. So if we talk about a very retruded jawline, it can take up even up to 6 ml, 8 ml of fillers. If we talk about cheeks, it can take up about 2 ml each side. Okay. But when we plan the journey, we should break it up for the patient. It's very important. And for the patients, you have to outline your real need to the clinician. I think that's very important. But nowadays, I see a lot of patients are coming and telling me that, doctor, you tell us what you think. So, I always tell them that's a very dangerous question to ask me because what I see, it may not be on their mind. Absolutely. So I don't want to plant their seed of, that seed of doubt in their mind that, okay, oh my God, this also needs correction.
Maybe I never saw my chin, but once you have quoted, I will start, reviewing it more.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a tightrope.
Yes.
I would say, and we have to balance the
but
patient.
I think science has a very important role to play over here.
Yes.
We have defined ratios, golden ratios. So if our practitioner is suggesting, then definitely we should at least give it a thought.
Yeah, definitely.
I have seen that you've done wonderful case studies with even 1 ml of fillers. So why don't we have a look over here?
Okay. So, if you look at this lady, so she was in her early 50s, and she came in and she said that, doctor, I just want to do 1 ml. What will you suggest? And I looked at her critically. I already saw that, if I want to have a good improvement, it would need about at least 3-4 ml to make her look absolutely great. But then that 1 ml, I asked her to invest in her lips. And you can see that how just 1 ml of lip filler has made the difference in her face. So this outlines an important point that when you are given the freedom to choose, you must choose wisely. So it's very important, and especially with lower volumes.
And less is more.
Less is more, definitely. Case I would like to show you here is that, you can see that I have sculpted her nose and chin, bit of the jawline with fillers. And again, assessing proportions, we need to do it very carefully. Under eyes is an area where we need to be very, very cautious with fillers. Because time and again, I see patients walk in for a secondary consult to me, and I have been dissolving fillers left, right, and center. So over time, they end up with puffy faces, they end up with water retention, and many a times they are surgical candidates. So we dissolve the fillers and we take them up for surgery. Cheeks, again, we have to tread with caution. But having said that, when a face needs volume, it needs volume, period. So that's very important for us as clinicians also to realize, and for the patients, that if you're suggested certain mls, then you at least in a staggered way you can invest
Have
in
trust in the process.
it. Yes, have trust in the process. That's very rightly
Okay.
said.
So there are a lot of weight loss medicines available now,
Yeah.
and we have seen transformations happening and beautiful case studies where people have lost weight, regained their confidence,
Yes.
and they've been struggling with this issue for a long time.
Hmm.
So, what is the role of fillers with such weight loss patients? Do you think fillers will be instrumental when it comes to the such patients' aesthetic treatments?
सो जब हम वेट लॉस करते हैं ना, तो उसमें क्या होता है कि हमारे फेस में दो तरीके के फैट पैड्स होते हैं.
Okay.
एक डीप फैट पैड होता है जो कि सपोर्ट करता है फेशियल टिश्यूज को,
Okay.
एंड एक सुपरफिशियल फैट पैड होता है.
Okay.
तो जब वेट लॉस होता है तो द डीप फैट पैड्स दे श्रिंक इन वॉल्यूम.
Okay.
तो अगर हम इनको वॉल्यूमिनाइज करते हैं फिलर्स से, तो एक सपोर्टेड लिफ्टेड लुक आ सकता है.
Okay.
बट अगेन इसमें असेसमेंट की बात है. अगर फेस बहुत सैगी है और सिर्फ फिलर्स ही करने हैं तो हमें इसको एक स्टैगर्ड अप्रोच करना पड़ेगा.
Okay.
लेकिन अगर हम इसमें कोई लेट्स से कोई लिफ्टिंग टेक्निक्स ऐड कर दें, फॉर एग्जांपल थ्रेड्स के ज़रिए से, तो थ्रेड्स और फिलर्स का कॉम्बिनेशन बहुत ही ब्यूटिफुली वर्क कर सकता है.
Okay.
Again, as a plastic surgeon, here I would like to take a pause and say that जो सर्जिकल रिजल्ट ऐसे केसेस में जो हेविली सैगिंग फेसेस हैं, जो सर्जिकल रिजल्ट जितना रिजल्ट अचीव कर सकता है वो नॉन इन्वेजिव से एक बार या दो बार में नहीं हो सकता.
Of course.
तो ये हमें समझना होगा कि अगर हम सर्जिकल प्रोसेस में जाना चाहते हैं तो एक जो बहुत ही स्टार्क रिजुवनेटेड रिजल्ट जो मिल सकता है वो आपको सर्जिकल से मिलेगा. उसके बाद आप उसको ग्रेजुअली मेंटेन कर सकते हैं फिलर्स
Okay.
से. लेकिन अगर फेस इतना सैग नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि सारे लोग फेस में सैगिंग नहीं देखते
Correct.
आफ्टर वेट लॉस, तो अगर उनको रिजुवनेशन चाहिए देन फिलर्स आर अ ग्रेट टूल.
Okay. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
आई नो व्हाट यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट.
What is this happening? These are celebrities.
Yeah.
These are people who have access to best in the
Yes.
world.
Yes.
They have all the money, they have all the influence which they can use. But what is going wrong over here? Why fillers are to be blamed over here?
You see what? I think it's a very, very sensitive topic you've touched on.
Yes.
And believe it or not, time and again, patients come to our clinic when they consult the doctors. They'll say, we don't want to look like this.
Yes.
And that's such a powerful statement, you know. They don't want to look like celebrities. So I would say,
Puffed up.
yeah, they don't want to look puffed up. They don't want to have pillow cheeks. And recently on my Instagram, I have posted a reel, what looks you don't want to have with fillers. So obviously, when we are looking at these celebrities, I don't know whether it's the injector who's going wrong, or whether they are dominating the treatment plans because they want to look a certain way.
Correct.
So it's really more factors than one at play over here.
Okay.
Because I cannot say that that only the clinician is to be blamed, or the product is to be blamed, or the celebrity or the person per se is to be blamed. But it's a combination of all factors.
Something has got botched up over
So
here.
somewhere, you know, I as an injector and as a clinician, I have to pull the brakes. I have to tell them that no, this is not right. You're not looking like yourself anymore. And that is the importance of keeping pictures as clinical records.
Okay.
Many a times when I see a lot of influential people, when they come to consult me, they would refrain from, letting us take pictures. And we have nowadays, we've stopped treating patients who do not allow us to click
Okay.
pictures. So I'm not talking about sharing pictures on social media,
Absolutely.
but keeping pictures for our own clinical records. So it's very important that you see the journey. And lot of times, even when you're not talking about celebrities, the regular common people who come to me, So, for example, I'll just take the example of this corporate lady. She's been coming to me for quite some time, and we've seen huge transformation in her. physique.
What has been her vintage with you?
So she's been with me for almost about 8 years now,
Okay.
and how she came and how she looks now is hugely different. People say that she's transformed for the better. Professionally also, she's grown so much.
Okay.
And time and again, she'll come and ask me that, ma'am, I think I need filler here. And time and again, I'll say, no, you don't need it now. Let's wait. So that is where I come in. And that is where her trust in me as a clinician comes in. So it's very important that we take a step back and look at ourselves and see what we want changed. But sometimes, their perception also in their head, it's skewed. A lot of times these celebrities, they are under pressure to continue being relevant in the industry. But at the same time, perhaps a surgical result would be the right, a surgical process would be the right way to approach. But yeah, the fear of surgery is always there.
Yes.
But yeah, all these can be undone. The beauty of fillers is that it can be undone and you can restart always. And I think
the process is also very quick.
It is quick, and I have a recent example of a lady who came in with her daughter for her arm liposuction, the daughter's arm liposuction, and she wasn't consulting us as a patient.
Okay.
But when we saw her, she had about, I would say, 60-70 ml of fillers in her face.
Oh, okay.
And when we saw, we definitely thought that she needs help. Not with the treatment, but more with her body image.
Okay.
So after I treated her daughter, when they had rock solid trust in me, I took up that sensitive topic and we've dissolved a lot of her fillers. We've done her upper and lower blepharoplasty, and but lip fillers she continues to get, and she's changed. She's seen the change with dissolution of fillers, retaining some, getting rid of some. So again, it's all assessment and your treatment.
Absolutely. I think the right practitioner would be the key over here, where your practitioner is telling yourself that please get it dissolved. It's the right time.
Right.
Great. So, ma'am, there are a lot of hues and cries related to long-term effect of fillers. बहुत जगह ये बातें हो रही हैं कि fillers अभी नए थे, 10-15 साल पुराने ही हुए हैं, एंड जब हमने स्टार्ट करे तब हमें शायद पता नहीं था कि इनका लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा. तो what is your opinion as a science expert and who's been doing these filler treatments for a long time now, that do they really have an impact in the long term, or do we have less evidences where we are saying we are not rightly equipped to use these fillers for a longer period of time?
See, when we talk about long-term effect of fillers, so earlier we all were saying that it dissolves in 1 year and you need a re-injection, same amount every year. So that's not true, and studies have found that the fillers stay in for longer than it was thought. जो एंजाइम है डिसॉल्व करने के लिए, वो हाइनिडेज जो हमारे बॉडी में रहता है, और वो फिलर्स धीरे धीरे डिसॉल्व होते जाते हैं. बट जब फिलर्स,
ये हमारी बॉडी में भी
बॉडी में ही होता है, तभी हमें फिलर्स रिपीट कराने की जरूरत पड़ती है, बिकॉज दिस एंजाइम डिसॉल्व्स द हाइलुरोनिक एसिड ओवर टाइम.
ओके.
राइट. सो लेकिन जो लॉन्ग टर्म जैसे जो फिलर्स हैं, वो पहले हम कह रहे थे कि 1 साल में चले जाते, नहीं जाते. वो कुछ हद तक रहेंगे. तो इस तरह से आप समझ लीजिए कि जैसे 1 ml डाला, तो एट द एंड ऑफ 1 year 60% ऑफ इट इज गॉन. जो इफेक्ट है वो कम हो गया या चला गया कह सकते हैं, बट दैट 35-40% filler is still there. So we need to refill, but with a lesser amount probably to get the same effect. और वो जो 35% है, वो अगले 1 साल में 12-13% रह जाएगा. उसके अगले साल में शायद 6-7% रह जाएगा. तो to reduce and finish off from your body takes time. तो इसलिए बार बार सेम अमाउंट ऑफ फिलर, अगर आपने शुरू में 4 ml 5 ml कराया है और आपने ऑप्टिमल इफेक्ट अचीव कर लिया, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है इसमें समझना कि अगर आपको 4-5 ml फिलर एडवाइस था और आपने करा लिया, सो ऑप्टिमल इफेक्ट अचीव हो गया. नाउ 1 साल के एंड में आपको 4-5 ml फिर से कराने की ज़रूरत नहीं है.
करेक्ट.
यू कैन डू विद 2 ml टू मेंटेन द सेम इफेक्ट. तो ये बहुत ज़रूरी है देखना. और लॉन्ग टर्म इफेक्ट में जब हम बात करते हैं, तो अगर आप रिपीटेडली बहुत ज़्यादा वॉल्यूम कराएंगे तो ऑब्वियसली आपका फेस पफी होगा, बिकॉज hyaluronic acid इट कैचेज वाटर, इट गेट्स असिमुलेटेड इन द टिश्यूज. तो ये सब चीज़ें हैं. कोविड के टाइम में हमने बहुत ग्रैनुलोमास देखे. तो ग्रैनुलोमा बेसिकली एक तरह से फिलर थोड़ा सा स्टिफ हो जाता है और उसमें फिर डिज़ोल्व करना ही एक ऑप्शन होता है. तो ग्रैनुलोमाज आर ऑल्सो रियलिटी, बट ज़्यादा नहीं होते. बहुत मतलब अगर केयरफुली डन प्रोसीजर है तो ना के बराबर इंसिडेंस है. अपने करियर में मैंने शायद अभी तक 2 ग्रैनुलोमाज देखे होंगे.
Okay.
तो उनको फिर हमने ट्रीट किया और डिज़ोल्व करना एक ट्रीटमेंट है. बट अगेन लॉन्ग टर्म इफेक्ट, अगर आप बार बार पंप करा रहे हैं फिलर तो टिश्यू एक्सपेंशन होगा. टिश्यू जो है वो तो एक्सपैंड होगा. तो वो एक्सपेंशन होता है और उसके बाद फिर आपकी जो नीड है वो बढ़ती जाती है. तो इसीलिए राइट अमाउंट ऑफ फिलर फ्रॉम द स्टार्ट एंड मेंटेनेंस एट द राइट लेवल विद द राइट वॉल्यूम, ये ज़रूरी है. तो लॉन्ग टर्म तक आप मेंटेन कर सकते हैं. जैसे आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू द एग्जांपल ऑफ फ्यू पेशेंट्स की जिनको मैंने ऑलमोस्ट फॉर अ डेकेड आई हैव मेंटेन. और अगर इफ़ यू सी देयर पिक्चर नाउ versus how they looked 10 years back, if they had not done anything, then you could imagine how would they look. And if you see their pictures now, a lot of them say that we look younger than our 10 years prior self.
Yes.
तो ये चीज़ बहुत ज़रूरी है. It's not the destination, it's the journey, it's the reassessment every time. Nothing has to be like on autopilot कि ठीक है अभी इतना करना है. तो रीअसेसमेंट बहुत ज़रूरी है. सो बेसिकली वी से एक्सपेक्टेशन, प्लान, एग्जीक्यूशन एंड रीअसेसमेंट. सो EFER. This is the process we follow at SB Aesthetics.
So this is how the loop gets closed.
Absolutely.
Ma'am, I want to address a major myth over here that fillers are only for the ultras or celebrities. I'm talking about affordability factor over here. If I'm planning a filler treatment, then what is the starting budget I can plan for myself?
See, Kunjan, with the variety of products available now with us, I would say that जो range offer करते हैं ना हम, वो बहुत wide है.
Okay.
तो जो रेंज है वो हमारे सेंटर पे SB Aesthetics में 15-16,000 पे भी ऑफर्स के टाइम में शुरू हो सकती है.
Okay.
एंड इट कैन गो अप टू 30,000 per ml.
Okay.
Depending on what and who is injecting. But at the same time, I would like to point out this fact that all the doctors with us who are injecting are all experts and they are all qualified experts. तो ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. लेकिन हाँ, मतलब अब क्योंकि हमारे पास हर वॉक ऑफ सोसाइटी से पेशेंट्स आते हैं and we would really like to cater to everyone. तो इसलिए हमने जो रेंज रखा हुआ है अपने पास में वो काफ़ी वैरायटी का रखा हुआ है. एंड पेशेंट्स कैन हैव अ मेनू अप्रोच काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग एंड दे कैन पिक एंड चूज देयर फिलर, देयर इंजेक्टर. तो ये हम ऑफर करते हैं. बट अगर मैं बात करूँ कि फुल फेस सपोज अगर रिजुवनेट करना है तो वी कैन स्टार्ट एज लो एज 4 ml ऑल्सो.
Okay.
And even with the slightly well-priced filler, I would say, in 50,000 you can have a decent amount of change. So it's not the truth that it's only for the ultras of the society.
Okay.
I would like to differ, from this popular opinion that, and मुझे लगता है कि मेरा as the founder director of my center, it's very important that I don't remain so aspirational also. And purposefully we brought it into our practice that we want to cater to more and more people. तो ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. Of course, it's good to have only the ultras or but I think we don't come with that mindset and we have a customized approach from pricing to product to injectors. तो ये सब कुछ customizable है and it's very affordable.
And obviously the patient can go for a phased approach, as you have rightly pointed
Absolutely.
out. You can start with 1 or 2 ml
Yes.
and then eventually keep on adding your fillers.
Yeah, right.
So now I think it's a good time to talk about new generation fillers. The era is changing. फिलर्स जब लॉन्च हुए थे और तब से अब के टाइम में बहुत चेंजेस आ गए हैं,
राइट.
एंड सो एज द कस्टमर नीड्स हैव
Hmm.
चेंज्ड.
Hmm.
पहले हो सकता है 40 इयर्स वाले पेशेंट्स ही आते थे, अब हमारे पास शायद 20 इयर्स 30 इयर्स वाले पेशेंट्स भी आ रहे हैं. देयर इज अ नीड फॉर नेचुरल लुकिंग फिलर. तो व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन दीज न्यू जनरेशन फिलर्स?
See, new generation fillers, if I talk about a particular brand, which is Epitic, and it is by Jetma from Korea, the parent company is Jetma. And I've been using the fillers for almost about nearly 1.5, 2 years, I think. And I started when I wanted to test it. I started using the fillers, and I was pleasantly surprised with the performance.
Okay.
And I did it in family members. I got it done on myself because that is how,
Wow.
you know.
Where did you get it
I
done?
got it in my lips.
Wow.
So, you know, I felt that I could place that confidence in it, and it was very well priced for my patients. So, a lot of younger patients, for example, there was a mom who came with her daughter, and the daughter wanted to get lip fillers done.
Okay.
But the mom was not wanting to invest too much, you know. And we did the Epitic filler for her, and you know, the result was beautiful. So, but again, if I am confident as an injector that this filler will deliver, I can offer that to my patient, you know, with the same confidence. So it's very important that what I think as an injector. So yes, there are, you know, it's a newer technology. It's more homogeneous. It delivers what the best fillers are giving, and at a more affordable range. So why not?
Wow, I think this has been the most interesting talk so far on Aesthetify India platform. You've taken us from fears to facts, from confusion to clarity. Thank you so much, ma'am, for today's session. And I think lot of myths have got busted today.
Thank you, Gunjan. It was absolutely a pleasure talking to you. And I hope that with this podcast, we are able to, you know, debunk a lot of myths surrounding aesthetics in general, aesthetic treatments,
Yes.
and how one should approach, you know, as a patient. And maybe if the doctors are watching, how the doctor should also be approaching a patient.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Gunjan.